Hello everyone, and welcome to Hold Yourself High, where in this safe space I talk about growth, spirituality, and relationships. Some episodes will be just me talking about my personal discoveries, while others will be with special guests discussing their gifts and experiences. Make sure to like and subscribe to never miss an episode. If you'd like to connect, you can follow me on Instagram at Haneifuhh. I hope you all enjoyed this journey with me. Stay tuned and stay high. Hello everyone, my name is Hannie and welcome to another episode of Hold Yourself High. How y'all doing? Yes, it is finally November. Oh my gosh, Thanksgiving is almost here and Christmas, time is just going by so freaking fast. We are so close to 2023. I wonder what the new year will bring me. It's just coming so fast. I'm already thinking about all the things that I want to do for next year. So I'm excited. So to update y'all, last time we talked, I told you that my anniversary was coming up. It was on the 22nd of October. And oh my gosh, y'all, this was the perfect 1 year anniversary surprise that I've ever had. So that day I was at work, I decided just take a full shift, didn't leave early, just get to work, and I got off at 5 a.m. So tell me why my partner was up around 5 a.m, setting up the apartment. They had candles and rose petals, balloons. My best friend, she took our anniversary photos, and my partner had them up on a frame on her table. And my partner got me a bag, the bag that I've always wanted. They got me a Telfar bag. Oh my God, I love it. It's cute, it's tiny, it's black. Black is my favorite color. I got my partner this cute little locket with a picture of me and their grandmother, some accessories, hats, slides, socks, all that good stuff. But it was such a good anniversary. We went out to dinner. We went to a nice little market. We had such an amazing time. It was such a good day. I could not stop smiling. So after we celebrated our anniversary, we had a watch party for Florida, Georgia, the week after that. And that was so much fun. I never thought that I would be doing these kinds of things, in my space, because throughout the years, when I was younger, I used to be very, very social, but now I'm more in tune with my energy, and I've set a lot of boundaries about what I like and what I don't like. So, but yeah, we had this watch party, and there was maybe 8 to 10 people in this big 2-bedroom apartment, and we're all just huddled in the living room watching the TV, and it was a great time. Of course, Florida Gators, we need to do better, because that game, I don't even know what to tell you. And I'm not even a football fan, y'all. Don't get me wrong, I know nothing about sports. I will be the cute girl on the sidelines watching the game, not even know who the hell I'm rooting for. But it was a good game, and it was a good time with people, and I enjoyed myself. I was very social that night, and also very fucked up that night. But moving on, I also told y'all that I started going to therapy. So I will share with y'all something that I'm working on in therapy right now. In my last episode, I talked about, having certain people sit at your table. So in therapy, I told my therapist that I was upset about certain things with the people that I guess once had in my life, friends, my social circle, things of that nature. And she was telling me that I am, going through the grieving process. And, the grieving process can last for however long it lasts for. Honestly, time will tell. But, eventually one day you will, I won't say get over it, but your mind, you won't be so focused on it is what I'm saying. You won't be putting all of your energy into, whatever you're grieving. We were talking about grieving friendships and how I was upset because I thought that all the time that I would put into these friendships and actually caring for people, that people would give me the same care and love back, and these were the people that I thought that I would have in my life for a long time. And, time will tell, we are older and we're all doing our own little thing. So maybe, things would be different in the future. I don't know, but I'm going to continue to be optimistic. But as of right now, I'm going to stick to doing what I do, which is living my life and doing what's best for Hannie. I can no longer stress or cry about people that, again, aren't obligated to be in my life. And I mean that. So I'm happy to be going through this process of grieving because I was crying a lot. I was very, very upset. And I was doubting myself to whether I wanted to continue even being social or going to certain areas in the town because it just reminded me too much of people. And I was just being real negative. I felt like I was being a negative Nancy, y'all. And that I was just putting all this energy into it that I didn't need to do. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that we talked about in therapy. And I'm happy to finally start therapy and get the ball rolling with my mental health. I'm working on being more balanced and being more productive, getting myself out there. So I'm happy to start this journey. I'll update y'all more about things I'm talking about in therapy and what I'm learning. But let's get into this episode. I have a lot to talk about today. A lot has been on my mind, and I have a little surprise for y'all. So let's get the ball rolling. Do you see yourself as a humble person? Can someone look at you and describe you as being humble? We all hold ourselves to a certain standard, but for a lot of us, our standards can make us arrogant. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to be humble and how hard it can be to be humble. And we'll be chatting with a special guest about how she made a remarkable change on her journey. We like definitions over here, so I will be the definition diva on this podcast. Being humble is having and showing modesty. Having multiple definitions, humble can mean a low social status or lower someone's dignity. We're all about holding ourselves high, so none of us are on a low status and we're not lowering someone's dignity. But to be honest, the way we act can cause someone else to feel low. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with feeling proud of what you have or where you are in life. I am personally not the flashy type, but the shit I see on social media makes me think that a lot of y'all love to flash. People work so hard to be just like these influencers that they lose their true selves. Social media is the root to why we act the way we do. Social media is the reason why we compare ourselves. Please don't tell me it doesn't, because honestly, y'all do it without even knowing it. We're in a society that encourages individuality, yet we're in a constant competition with each other. On a personal note, though, social media honestly gives me anxiety, and sometimes I slip into that negative mentality because we live in a society surrounded by power and influence. I'm influenced by a lot of people I see on social media, and I compare myself to a lot of people. I wish I was them. I wish I was in their shoes, not thinking about the shit that they could be going through. So most of the time, I need to take breaks from social media. But there's no easy way to be humble and to stay humble because we go through a lot in our lives. You could be dealing with arrogant people bragging about themselves, or suffering in the blame game. But being humble can develop us, and our relationships with other people can be more enjoyable. So if you're struggling to be humble, here's a list of ways you can start practicing. One of the ways that you can start to practice being humble is accepting your limitations. No matter what you can do, someone can do it better. Like, for example, I'm doing this podcast, and everything that I do is in the palm of my hand. I do everything off of my phone. But I'm sure there are other people that have a podcast and they have different ways of, better ways of promoting their podcast and, more episodes. They'll have a podcast that's better than mine, But instead of comparing myself or beating myself up, there are ways that I can improve myself. So you can do that as well. We're all good at something, but we're the best at nothing. Take the time to acknowledge the fact that as human beings, we're not perfect and we can't do everything on our own. And that's okay. The second way is to recognize your faults, your flaws, and taking accountability. All right? It is easy to judge someone, but do you ever judge yourself, or do you do that behind closed doors? It's okay. You don't have to tell me. I know you do that because I do it too. Being judgmental is just as harmful when it's done to yourself. It prevents us from improving ourselves. Most of the time, we make judgments about others without realizing it. Once you start judging others, check yourself, then control yourself. Remember, growth is a lifelong process, and it takes a lot for us to improve ourselves. Also, learn from your mistakes. Learn how to take accountability and apologize when you've done wrong. There are a lot of people that fail to take accountability, and I hate to say it, but sometimes I hate to take accountability. When I've done wrong, sometimes I hate to admit, that guilt. It kind of eats me up on the inside. I can't do it. I hate to say that I can't do it because I like to think that I'm right most of the time, and most of the time I'm not right. Sometimes I can be, sometimes I'm not, and that's okay. But I'm slowly starting to learn how to take accountability for my actions and the things that I do. I feel like me taking accountability for things makes me a better person, and I feel like a weight will be lifted. I would, just to say, I won't say too much because that's personal. I spoke to somebody, that was in my life, and she and I, we really didn't end on the best terms, but I've decided to be the bigger person, be an adult, and reach back out to her and, apologize for the things that I've done. that affected our bond. And, she also, took accountability for what she's done as well. And, I appreciate her for that. And I'm grateful for the talk that we had. And after that whole conversation, I literally felt like 10 times lighter, like a whole weight has been lifted off of my chest. And I feel like now, after I've done that nothing can hold me back, that I just feel woke, So the third thing is being grateful for what you have. Despite what we go through, we cannot constantly compare ourselves. On a personal note, I am learning how to be grateful for the things that I've had, and the things that I've have as well. Most of the time, I wish that certain things were easy to obtain. I wish that things could be handed to me so I didn't have to work so hard to get them. And this ties a lot with recognizing the flaws and faults in your life. Don't use your flaws to bring yourself down or other people down. That too. Definitely don't use your flaws to hurt other people. You can always work on yourself and manifest and work for what you want, but don't bring other people down because you're feeling bad about yourself, or even if you feel good about yourself and you just want to be a bully that day. Don't do that, because that hurts other people and you gain nothing from that. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But this is just a small list of ways to be humble, but there are more ways a person can humble themselves. I have learned the hard way how to be humble, and I'm sure y'all have experienced the same thing. And in my opinion, you either humble yourself or God will do it for you. And our special guest experienced just that. So our special guest today is a viral TikToker. You may have seen her on your For You page. I know I have. I've seen one of her videos and she really inspired me to create this episode. So I'm very, very grateful to have this gorgeous Gemini in our space to talk to you and talk to me about her journey. So listeners, let's welcome Erica to Hold Yourself High. All right, everybody. I have Erica here with us. Erica, say hi.
Hello, how are you guys?
Yes. I'm so excited to have Erica here. This is our first special guest. Woo! And
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm very happy that you're here. So let's just jump right into it, because I'm just so excited for you to share your story and let everybody get to know you. Okay. So just for the icebreaker, tell everybody about yourself.
I'm Erica. I'm 24 years old. I'm from New Jersey, but I currently reside in the South in Louisiana. I was actually moved here because God forced me to move here because I was not learning lessons. So now I am in a new environment where I am not really used to, but it's actually a blessing in disguise because it's the complete opposite of what I'm used to. I'm used to the city, loud parties, people, a lot of people. Over here is completely different. So I actually had a chance to know myself better in this type of environment than the environment that I used to be in, because everybody knows that Jersey is populated. There's so many friends, so many people, so many outings. So now that I'm in Louisiana, it changed me a lot. But yeah, I have 3 businesses. Trying to be an influencer. I own a jewelry business, a mystery box business, and I am a mental health advocate. And I'm trying to start my own community within mental health.
I like that. I love that. And you know what? It's so funny because when I was watching your videos, I was like, she has like a little bit of an accent. Like I could tell that like you wasn't from the South. So it's so funny because like I'm from New York and I moved to Florida and I've been here for like over 10 years. So like I moved here when I was 7. So people like to say that I'm actually from Florida, and I'm like, no, like New York is my home. Like I miss the city, you know, being close to my family. Like it's lit up there, you know, the hustle and bustle. I love that.
Yeah, Florida is nice. I like Florida. The South is nice. It's like hot. It's still hot. I'm like shocked about that. Like
it is nice. I can't hate on Florida too much. You know, Florida is my home, but it's just something about New York that it's just different. It's just a different atmosphere. Like I feel like people in the South can't handle the North. Like New York, Jersey, it's too much.
Facts. Definitely, we're definitely like aggressive. We're more aggressive, and we're more like everyone says that we're fast paced, and I agree because everyone's very slow here.
Yes.
Like, they move slow, they talk slow, they don't really like, and I guess that's why God put me here, because like I'm so used to fast-paced things that I need to slow down. But it's weird to me because like, why aren't you in a rush?
I get that. All right, let's get more into it. So how would you describe your old self? What was the old Erica?
The old Erica was crazy. Very crazy, very outgoing, but crazy. I like to work hard. I was just constantly working, constantly indulging myself in work. I always wanted to be seen by people. I love being the center of attention. I liked having a bunch of friends. I love chasing men, like literally. I was kind of rude, but nice. I was rude when I needed to be, but I was still a nice person overall. And I was really just like a caregiver, honestly. Like I just cared so much about people and helping people, but in like a people-pleasing way, not like giving advice and stuff like what I'm doing now. More of like, I'm going to overextend myself for you because I love you that much.
Oh my gosh, yes. You sound just like me. I am such a people pleaser. It's terrible. Like back in college, like I had like this large group of friends and we were always going out and partying, you know, just really like living that lifestyle that I always dreamed of. And it was so much. Like I was always there for people, making sure that I get to where they want me to be, just so they can be pleased, and I would like fit that image, you know.
And they'll always do for stuff.
Yes,
for everything.
It is
trauma.
Exactly. Like it was just it really drained my energy. So I really feel you on that.
It does drain your energy because you're overextending your energy to other people that don't appreciate it, so you don't feel appreciated at all, and you just end up losing yourself. And this is why we like have self-doubt, because you know the people that we confide in and love so much don't return the same energy.
Most definitely. So with the old Erica, you know, you're social, you're out, you're loud. What made you start working in the clubs?
Honestly, the funny story was I used to be a server. I served. I used to work in a group home. I used to do all these like jobs that took a lot of my time but gave me no money. I moved out at 19, so I like been living on my own for a really long time and at a young age. So I was working 3 jobs at one time. I got fired from my job because I had COVID before we knew COVID was COVID. And like the doctors was like, oh no, my boss was like, you need a doctor's note, you know, to come back to work. And I'm like, I don't have money for a doctor because I don't have insurance. And I'm not about to, go to the doctor, spend this much money when I haven't been to work for 2 weeks, because literally COVID at the time was like, we were sick for like 14 days, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally got offered a stripping position, and it was good money. So I took it, and ran with it. And I ended up falling in love with it. It was a crazy lifestyle, great money.
Damn. And I hear that, shout out to all my strippers and my sex workers out there, because that shit is not easy. Like,
it's not.
Props to you. Like, they really glamorize stripping on social media like heavy. Like, when I tell you, I'm scrolling through YouTube and I see day in the life of a stripper, how much money I made, and it's just like the outfits, the maintenance, the clients,
right. The things that you get from stripping, like, that's like literally 2%. Like, the energy that you put into stripping, the fake persona, like this person you have to be in order to please others. Like, you're constantly putting yourself on a line to please other people's emotions and make them feel good.
Yeah, so like when you were like making them feel good, like what did you have to do? Like, always like compliment them, and like what did you do?
It's like when you work as a stripper, you have yourself, who you are as a person, and then you have this fake persona. My fake persona was Armani. Mm-hmm. So Armani was a sweet girl, like, just, I like to make men feel like they're seen and heard, because most of the time, men that go to the strip club, they go there to be seen and heard. This is why they like spend money on girls. So I just like to like take my time with them, and I think that's how I made my money, because I wasn't like all about the money. I was actually all about trying to find out who they are, what they stand for, what's their job title, like, what do you do outside of this? Like, I was trying to be more of a friend to them than like anything else. But like, when you like spend your energy on like trying to please men, because sometimes men are not pleased no matter what you do, you get upset and you get discouraged, because not everyone's gonna like your energy, not everybody's gonna like your looks.
Damn, stripping is hella hard. So with everything that you did in the club, like, how were you doing mentally? Because I know it's like long hours, there's drinking, lights, people, music. I know it's like a lot on you. So like, how did you feel like after all that was over?
Honestly, like, when I got fired from the club, I didn't realize how much I was in a dark spot, because I was drinking every day. I was partying. I was doing drugs. I was even going home with some guys. Like, I was just doing like a lot of things that were not really me. But like I said, like, I separated myself and was, this person, Armani, and that's who I was. Like, I feel like I wasn't the Erica that I first knew before I walked into the club. So when I left the club, I didn't realize how much like trauma I had to heal from, because like, when you're drinking every day, it's just not a good feeling. When you're doing drugs, not a good feeling. When you're doing like, you overextending your body, not a good feeling. Like, it's just like, you get disgusted with how like you accepted like all of this stuff to happen to you just for money. Like, my mental was terrible after I left the club, because number one, I was addicted to the club. So when I got fired, like, I feel like my whole life was over, like, because I gave them my life, like, I gave them my soul, literally, like, and once I was fired and like had to make my own way and find my own way, it was like finding my soul again. So it was very hard to like pick myself back up, because I just was so used to them. I was obsessed with everyone in that place. Like, I was obsessed with the bosses. I was obsessed with the money. I was obsessed with everything. So like, going from having so much money to no money was honestly one of the most craziest lessons I had to learn. It was just like very depressing, and trying to find myself again, because I wasn't who I was for 2 years, and like getting out of that atmosphere and coming back into the real world, because that's not a real world. It's just like a crazy transformation. I can't even explain it.
Oh, wow. So what caused like this shift? Like after the club and you're like kind of like feeling down and out, like what caused like this whole change to like who you are now?
Honestly, like I'm gonna be real with you. I met a guy and like he was just like me. And like the thing is, like I feel like his energy with the situations that I was going through and like the lessons that he was giving me like shifted my whole life. Like I was talking to God. Before I didn't really believe in God. I was like into like witchcraft and stuff like that. Like, so I was doing all of that. So I didn't realize like how powerful my words were. Like I was asking for a new life and not realizing that God was giving me that new life. Mm-hmm. So when I was saying things in a club, like my life shifted because of the way that I speak. God was like, okay, this is what you want. I'm going to give you what you want. And I didn't realize that until, I was moved into Louisiana. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this all happened because God wants me to follow my dreams. And all the stuff that I was literally doing before was blocking me to following my dreams. Like I was doing drugs, I was partying every night, I was drinking every night. Like I was so obsessed with money that I didn't care about following my dreams because I had money. Mm-hmm. So God was like tired of me like trying to start something and never starting it because I had so many distractions in my life. And like what that guy was honestly one of the distractions that pulled me like into myself again. I had to be pulled away from every single distraction for me to be shifted into the woman that I am right now. And that's why I think that I got fired. This is why I think that I stopped dancing. This is why I think I stopped like, having friends and putting other people's needs over my own, because God was like, well, now it's time to help other people in a way that you've always wanted to and not in the way that they want you to help them. Mm-hmm. So that's what the shift was. The shift was a heartbreak, and the heartbreak led me to being where I am right now.
Oh, wow. So when you met the guy and you were starting to build a connection with God, did you go anywhere or like did you speak to anyone else like for guidance?
No, honestly, God came to me. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't go out my way. God came to me, and I kind of like say that like everybody, like everything works around like TikTok. I feel like is the algorithm sometimes be God like talking to you, because like I used to get a lot of tarot readings. I used to get a lot of like witch stuff because I used to be a witch, and that's the stuff that I used to be interested in. And all of a sudden my timeline went from witch stuff to like God. And I was confused because I was like, yo, like, I've never really, like, looked that up. I was never interested in it, like, because I never really believed in it. But then, like, it just really, like, stood on my soul and my heart that I needed to connect with God, because God is the reason why I'm even in this situation in the first place of, living in Louisiana and being away from all the distraction and really starting my healing journey. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to connect with God. I'm going to start praying to God. I'm going to start putting him first and connecting with him, because obviously I wasn't doing that in the past because I was so in love with the lifestyle that I had. I didn't believe in a God. I didn't believe in anything. I was just living life the way that I wanted to. Like I was trying to control everything. I was trying to be the powerful one, and I got humbled.
Yes. Most definitely. Was religion present growing up?
Yes, it was, but I didn't still believe it because I just felt like my family was Christians. Mm-hmm. I'm not really a religious person. Like I'm more of just a person that believes in God, because the people that I was around that was religious, that was going to church every Sunday, they were still negative people to me. They were still judgmental, judging people, talking down on them. So I never believed in God, because I feel like if you were of God and you had a spirit like God, you wouldn't do these things.
Oh my gosh, I say the same thing. Yes. And that's like me growing up, like, because I was born Muslim. Yeah, because
Okay.
yeah, and my mother, she converted, and she was Christian, but it was hard to like really understand like which God was for me, because my father was kind of like not the best role model, and my mom, you know, she's okay, she has her moments, but certain things that she did just didn't scream Christianity. So
Right.
it really fucked me up.
Right. It's confusing. It's because like if you go to church and you say that you renew your sins, why do you keep doing the sins that you claim that you are renewing? And I just didn't believe in anything, because it was just like, if God was real, God would literally change these people's behaviors in my life. But obviously they're not really of God, because like now that I'm connecting to them, like God changed my behaviors as soon as I connected to them. As soon as I connected to him. So when I like see my family, like, you know, was judgmental, talking about people behind their back, gossiping, like doing all the things that you shouldn't be doing, it just was like, I didn't believe in it as a kid. And I never ever thought about like going to church or even picking up a Bible.
Would you say talking to God and reading your Bible is a way to cope?
Yes, honestly, it's a more healthier way to cope than what I was doing in the past. Like in the past, I was smoking, drinking, and partying and going out and going on dates and like trying to get away from myself. And then I was pulling tarot cards, trying to find the answer to the future. And like, as somebody that is still like, I have no problem with tarot, but you can get like a unhealthy obsession with trying to figure out what happens next. Because if like things aren't manifesting the way that you thought it would, you'll pull it out instead of just, you know, just believing and trusting. You're just so anxious and trying to find out the answers. And that's what I used to do. I was just so obsessed with trying to figure out what happened next, especially about my love life. Like, so like reading the Bible and praying has literally helped me, you know, live in a present moment instead of the past and the future. It's definitely a great way to cope.
Yeah, and I definitely need to get more into reading the Bible. It's been a struggle for me because of like the religions like I was growing up in, but I need to like really like I need to go back to church. I need to read. I just need to really build that connection with God.
Definitely. It's really healing and makes you more confident than you probably already are. Like it just makes you feel good, because like as much as I love people, I love talking to God more, because God will always understand me. People won't understand me as much as God will. So that's why it's like a good thing that everyone should do.
Yes. When did you start making videos about your journey?
2000. I've always been making videos, but I just blew up. 2021, I blew up. And it was when I was like, I'm in a twin flame journey. So like I was talking about twin flames and, you know, just like the whole situation I was in with that. And I blew up on that. So I just started like, honestly, like making jokes about my journey. Like I was laughing at my pain type of content. And I blew up with that. But now I like kind of want to switch it and make it more of like a healing and not trying to laugh at our pain, because there's nothing funny like about what you go through, and we need to heal from it instead of like making jokes and pushing it to the side. And that's like how I used to be on TikTok, but a lot of people liked it because, you know, they were going through the same thing as well. But now I want to create more of like a healthy content to make people heal in a way.
And I used to do that. I used to laugh at my pain a lot. And, you know, back then, I guess, like, people were looking at me mad weird because I was just like, oh, yeah, you know, I have an overdraft fee. I'm so damn broke. Like, I hate my life, you know. Let me cancel my subscription now. And people are just like, girl, like, what? Calm down. Like, you're doing too much. So now it's just like, when I go through things, I actually, like, sometimes I may cry it out, but after that, I sit back and I have to analyze, like, okay, what is the issue here? Let me work on it and then find a solution.
And that's growth. Like, that's growth. So I'm proud of you, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Because that's growth. Because I used to be the same way, just laughing at, like, I mean, it's good to laugh it off, but, like, it's not good to laugh it off and push it away. Like, and that's what I used to do. Like, just make content laughing at my pain. And although it's laughable because mistakes could be laughable, but, I just feel like it's better to, like, encourage people to not push it away and to encourage people to feel their emotions. Like,
I feel that. Do you think things should be taken away from somebody for someone to truly be humble?
I don't think that should happen. I think that everyone should, appreciate what they have so God don't have to do that to you. But that's unfortunately how it is for a lot of people, that they have to be everything has to be taken for them to be humbled. That happened to me because I literally just wasn't humble. I just thought that I ran the world and that what I say goes. And it's because I have a little bit of nice things and flashy things. And I was more like, I was a brat.
Oh,
like, if it wasn't my way, if it's not my way, it's no way.
Damn, you was like that, Erica?
Yeah, I was like that. I really was like that. And that's why I had to be humble, because it was like, I wasn't going to learn if I wasn't. So I don't recommend doing that. I recommend to appreciate everything that God gives you, even if it's $5. Because that $5 could be taken away at any second and would be hard to get again if that's what God wants to put you through. Like,
you're totally right. Then what are some ways you think people can humble themselves?
Staying humble means you don't have to dimmer anything because of the things that you have. Not at all. But I think it is to be grateful and to not, one-up people, to not make people feel less because you have more. I think people should, just continue to pray, because at any second life can hit and, all the things that you have is completely gone. And, and to not make the things that you have your personality. Because one thing about it is, when the things are gone, what do you have after that? Do you have a good heart? Do you have a good soul? Do you have a good spirit? Like, because if you do, then you'll be able to get those things easily. But if you don't, it's going to be very hard for you to get those things, because you're going to have to go through a lot of healing to get back to how God had you before. And that's what happened to me.
And you speaking facts, because I'm just thinking about in the past, like, people bullied me heavy just because, like, they were pretty, or, they had, like, all the boys and they're popular, like, all that kid bullshit. But all that, like, affected me, and I feel like that helped me to become the person that I am today. I'm very humble. I don't judge people, and if I do, it's just like, I keep it to myself. I don't voice many of opinions. But I just look back and I'm like, wow, like, people did all this, and I wonder where they are now, because God gonna handle that.
No, definitely, for sure. He's gonna handle them. He's gonna handle every single person that has put you through that. And this is why you are rising and doing your own thing. Like, that's the truth. Like, and they'll regret treating you like that.
Yes, for the ones that bullied me, if y'all listening to this, no, you can't be on my podcast. Nah. Keep listening, keep hating, because I'm winning over here. And, I hope that you're going to be winning too over there.
Period.
Yes. So, after some digging, I see that you're doing some music.
Yeah.
Anything you would like to share? You want to talk about it? Like, what made you start writing music?
Honestly, I've always loved music. My dad was a DJ. He's literally been playing DJ my whole life when I was a kid. My mom even said, like, when I was in her stomach, I was dancing around to music.
Oh.
I just love music. I've always did. I was writing music when I was like 7, but I just never had the confidence. And I'm still kind of working on my confidence right now with music, because like that's a part of me that I've never shared with not a soul. Mm-hmm. Like I used to write music in front of my family, but like when you're 7, everyone thinks, oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. But when you're an adult doing it and you show how much talent you have, like it could be like an eye opener for a lot of people that didn't know that you had it in you. So like I'm still working around my confidence with music, but I've always loved music and I love writing. I love, celebrities that write music. Like I'm obsessed with music. I really am. And it's something I want to do before my eyes are closed for this lifetime. Yeah. I am going to be releasing music, but probably next year. I want to be like a perfectionist when it comes to it.
Okay, most definitely. And when you start, let me know so I can share your music. I'm going to be looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Tell us more about Mental Health Matters.
So Mental Health Matters, I actually been trying to do this for a year, like the same thing you said, like, you had self-doubt. I was trying to get like all people involved, but then I was doubtful. People were doubtful of me. So like I stopped doing it. But Mental Health Matters is going to be a community. I want to build a community for all people. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter anything. If you're a person, this is for you. And I want to help people heal their traumas from their childhood, because a lot of people don't know that they have an inner child that is waiting to be seen and heard. And this is why they are self-doubting. This is why they're insecure. This is why they're fearful. This is why they don't believe in love. There's just a lot of things that people hide about themselves because of the fear of other people. And I want to help people grow as a person that they're supposed to grow as, like, and follow God and like pursue their life purpose, basically. And I want to share other people's experiences that started from the bottom and made their way to the top. I also want to build a community for people to be able to vent to others that are facing the same problems as them. And I also want to build a community for people that have small businesses to be able to promote their small business, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but small businesses don't get the same love as these big businesses do. So I want to make sure that small voices get heard as well as the big ones. And that's my big goal.
I love that. And I am rooting for you. I know you're going to make it happen because I know you're manifesting for it. And I believe in you, girl.
Thank you. Definitely we need to collab with that too. I would love to work with you, in the future, because I plan on having like YouTube videos, like digging deep into people's lives and like what made them, because, you have your own podcast. So, there's a lot of people that, want to be in the same position as you and want to know how you did it. So that's pretty much what I want to broadcast, is bringing the light to people, because people need to understand that they're a light and that they can literally do anything they put their mind to.
And I appreciate that. I definitely would love to collab with you. We're going to make some stuff happen. I'm really looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So for everybody out here that's still tuned in, I have Erica here. Erica, let the listeners know where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on TikTok at Airwreckaura. I don't spell it the correct way. I spell it as AirwreckaUra, and then another A for Instagram. And you can find me on YouTube at Erica.
All right. I just want to thank you again, Erica, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I feel like so good right now. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Of course. you everyone for listening to today's episode of Hold Yourself High. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like and a review on what you thought about today's episode. Also follow me on Instagram at Haneifuhh for more content about my journey and the podcast. Stay tuned and stay high.
I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but I know they've told you before that you are better than nobody else, but your fairy godsis begs to differ. You are, in fact, better than those bitches, and I need you to act accordingly. Chin up, fingers in position, tongue out on them bitches. There you go.